All right. Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. This is the fourth film in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre series, and at least of the original four, I would say this is the worst one, probably. And also, for some reason, I think it's the one, again, out of the original four that most people may be most familiar with, because I would say if you had cable back in the 90s, there's a good chance you've seen this movie. It played quite a bit when it went to cable ad nauseum, got a lot of exposure, mainly because of its two stars, Renee Zellweger and Matthew McConaughey, who weren't weren't huge when they first did the movie. The movie's from 1994, so I mean McConaughey had Days Confused under his belt. That was about it, I guess. And this was Renee Zellweger's first movie. So between then and 1996, they became huge. They skyrocketed to fame, both of them. So, I mean, once it came to cable, obviously they had to get their money's worth, so they played it over and over and over again. So I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with this movie, unfortunately, I guess. But it is kind of an interesting thing to see, isn't it? These two huge stars, especially since, I don't know, just the funny, ironic thing, I guess, is that both of these actors, they went on to be pretty well known for, like, romantic comedies, right? So always paired up with, some other actor or actress in their respective movies. But here they are together in a movie, and when you think Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger are doing a movie together, you kind of think, oh, okay, this is a romantic comedy, right? No, it's a fucking horror movie with chainsaws and torture and body parts and all that. So that's kind of cool. I don't know, maybe there's something just kind of just about that, like it balances out their careers somehow. Because I don't know, like this isn't a great movie or anything like that, but nothing to be especially ashamed of. A lot of actors get early roles in horror movies. It's just, kind of how it is. A lot of really, really famous actors started out in, cheesy horror movies like this. So just kind of the name of the game. The movie itself, there's, an interesting note about it is that it is actually directed by Kim Henkel, who is the co-writer, along with Tobe Hooper, of the original 1974 film. So here we are, 20 years later. Let's revisit this series with, two sequels in between. What can we tell with this Next Generation? Worked out for Star Trek, so, let's give it a shot. Well, no, this is not a reboot of this series. This is very much the last, again, the original four, until it went to remake territory. But what they do here, I mean, it's pretty much the same concept as it always is, and Kim Henkel. If the story and characters and concept itself of the original 1974 Texas Chainsaw Massacre, if that showed kind of the talent he had in bringing that aspect of the story. Like purely from plot and characters point of view or perspective or whatever, what have you, I think he contributed a lot in that way. As a director, though, I don't think this really plays as well as it should, I guess. I mean, whatever, they take the concept to the bottom ring of the barrel, I guess. Like, it's, a couple of teenagers on prom night. They get, lost in the woods, and, they meet this sort of, like, real estate lady or whatever, and then, they get involved with the cannibalistic family, as they do in these movies. So that's, generally what it is. But the creeps and scares and unnerving atmosphere of the original film is nowhere to be found here. In fact, there's the way the scenes are kind of constructed here, they're not really scary or unnerving. They're just kind of they're actually kind of annoying in a lot of ways. Like in the original film, there's a really tense and unnerving and shocking scene, where Leatherface grabs the girl, puts her on the meat hook, they're screaming, and it's a terrifying scene. And they try something similar here, where Leatherface is chasing around this girl and grabbing her, putting her on the hook, and they're both just screaming at the top of their fucking lungs, and the scene goes on and on and on, and we're just hearing these this screaming Leatherface killer, this screaming teenage girl in her prom dress running around, and it's just annoying. It's nerve wracking. So I don't know. I don't think they. I don't think Henkel, in particular, knew how to craft these scenes. The concepts, sure, but I don't know. And, like, where the plot goes with this is really fucking stupid, too. Like, we get the usual kind of stuff, but there's an additional twist to it. The Matt McConaughey character, he's pretty much like the Viggo Mortensen character of the previous film. So he's kind of, sort of like a patriarch kind of role within this bigger family. And, they pick up people and torture and kill and eat them, right? So that's basically it. He's really wild with the performance. He's really good. But kind of the aspect to the character is we learn through Renee Zellweger speaking to his girlfriend that he believes there's all these conspiracies, right? And this big kind of secret organization is making him do what he does, and he has to do it or else suffer the consequences. And we think, okay, he's just crazy nut job, but they take it a step further and they confirm that that's what's going on. Like, this is obviously spoilers, but who gives a shit? It's a stupid movie. But yeah, so like there's this secret organization, these like rich men in nice suits and going around in limos, like with this plan of controlling these Texas Chainsaw Hillbilly Massacre people. And like I guess Matthew McConaughey's character fails, and Renee Zellweger is just driven home or driven to the hospital, driven to the police station. Oh, she's driven to the police station. Like given like this little ride in the back of the limo with this guy who apparently controls it all, and like they don't really even explain it either. That's what's stupid about it. At least like if you're gonna go to this route, try to make it somewhat interesting. But no, it's just like the vaguest, stupidest shit. He's like, oh, yes, I believe we failed, and we have a dream of one day just doing it right. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? This is the stupidest fucking bullshit ever. And it is. It's the stupidest fucking bullshit. So it's a stupid movie, and it's not scary, and like in certain scenes, like, of course, there's, like, the annoying scene that I was speaking about earlier with the screaming and going on and on and on. And then even certain scenes, they'll play with, like, like, grunge 90s music in the background, like, at the end in the finale when Leatherface is chasing her. It's like, what the fuck? This is, like, what is this, Pearl Jam? Like, what's going on? It's, like, so stupid. And makes it feel, obviously, quite dated. And it's just a stupid movie. I mean, the fourth movie in the franchise, like, we're basically doing the same thing over and over again. We have the people who, go the wrong route and they get mixed up with these people. Finale with the poor girl strapped to the chair at the dinner table. It's basically, I mean, yes, eventually after this fourth one, the series was remade, but really every sequel is pretty much a remake anyway. And I don't think this adds enough new stuff to really make it, an interesting or worthwhile sequel. And the new stuff that it does add is stupid, ridiculous bullshit. So there's that. So I'm not a fan of the movie. It's not that good. But isn't it just, kind of a guilty pleasure kind of thing to see these two big Hollywood romantic comedy actors in this, disgusting, depraved, torture porn kind of horror movie. It's kind of interesting to see. So it has that novelty to it. If you want to watch it for that, that's fine, I guess. And for what it's worth, I mean, they're both good. I mean, like Renee Zellweger, she plays the final girl, so a lot of screaming, crying. But to her credit and to the credit of, I guess, what they were trying to achieve with a more modern story in the '90s, she's more kind of cunning, right? So she's able to kind of work her way out of the situation and manipulate her way out of it. So that's pretty good. So she plays that performance from that aspect of it pretty well. And McConaughey, he's just, I don't know, was he on something during this? I'm sure he was, but he goes over the top, and it's kind of glorious to see. And yes, he actually does repeat the Dazed and Confused line, like right at the very end, when they're all meeting at the dinner table. He like just stomps in. He's like, "All right, all right, all right." And I don't know. That's pretty cool. So this has his signature phrase in it. All right, all right, all right. So maybe that's worth something. I don't know. But the movie is what it is. Long way from the original. A long way from the second one, to be honest. I like the second one quite a bit, and even the third one. This is the low point in the series, so inevitably they'd remake it. What do you think of this one? Comment below, share your thoughts. Thank you very much for watching today. 31 Days of Horror. Stay tuned for more horror reviews from the channel. Until next time, I'll see you later, and stay scared.